Hey everybody, today is Wednesday, April 3rd, and the title of today's lesson is A Case Against Israel. And the memory text again is found in Hosea chapter 2, verse 23. I will plant her for myself in the land. I will show my love to the one I called not my loved one. I will say to those called not my people, you are my people, and they shall say, you are my God. It's almost in there. I'm hoping by Thursday to get this verse memorized and a part of my psyche. Today's lesson deals with the natural result of idolatry and idol worship, and the case that God has against Israel now according to their works and according to the injustices that God witnesses in Israel. And the text really centers around Hosea chapter 4, verses 1 through 3, and then Hosea chapter 12. We'll go ahead and first start off with Hosea chapter 4, and then just kind of talk about the principles as to how this happens. Starting in verse 1, Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. We have listed a series of sins that Israel is guilty of, and there's much, much more. If you just keep on reading, even the major prophets, take a look at Ezekiel chapter 16, the whole chapter, just shows you to the depths of immorality that Israel fell. And it just kept on getting worse and worse. It seems like there was no bottom to the depravity of God's people in such a way that he said they were committing sins that the pagan nations looked in horror and disgust. How was it that they were able to reach such depths? There is a principle in the Bible that tells us we become what we behold. In other words, we reflect what we worship. And in this time, Israel, since the time they began worshiping idols, they became like the idols they were worshiping. And in reality, when you look at pagan religions or false gods made by human beings, they reflect human nature. You'll find angry gods, judgmental gods, vengeful gods, spiteful gods, passionate. You look at the Greek gods and the Roman gods, they were just sleeping around, fighting within each other, fighting against mankind, using them, wishing to be appeased. And this entered into the psyche and the character of Israel, in which they were acting like the gods they were worshiping. Immorality spiked. I mean, what they were trying to do in order to the rituals to worship Baal were all sensual. They involved women priests that were temple prostitutes. And in order to secure really the whole basis and premise of idolatry in Israel, they never wanted to leave God completely behind. But Baal, which was really introduced by, it was pushed big by Jezebel when Ahab married her. Baal was an insurance policy, because in Israel it was pretty much a dry climate, so rains was crucial. It was the difference between life and death. So God promised to bring the harvest, but Israel thought, just in case, we have Baal. And there was a different Baal for every field and every harvest. And he was an insurance policy to secure that there would be fertility in the land. But in order to secure that fertility, they would have to sleep with the temple prostitute. And it was just an immoral, the Baals were not interested in relationships. There was no sacredness in marriage. There was no importance between being selfless. It was all very selfish and passionate. And this is how Israel grew to reflect the image of their false god. In the same way, we need to be wary on how we spend our times in choosing our heroes and those that we look up to. The message of the world is the same as the message in the time of the Northern Kingdom and from the very tree of the Garden of Eden. When we look at our media, our music, our movies, the message pretty much is do what feels good. Do what you want. And this is actually straight out of the Church of Satan. And their only law is do what thou wilt, is the whole of the law. Do what feels good. And you become what you behold. And what we see in music is all about me. It's all about getting my dreams, accomplishing my goals, being number one. I'm the star. I'm the idol. I should be loved. I should be appreciated. And everything we know about love, about dating, about relationship, about money, about values and morals, we absorb from what we hear and what we see. And all of our gods are like us. All of our stars, all of our heroes, with similar passions, with similar likes and dislikes. But the worship of the one true God is so outside of human nature. This is why it is so important for us to focus our eyes and our ears on the Lord, because we need to become like Him. God is the opposite of who we are. He is selfless, self-sacrificing, self-renouncing. He thinks of others as more than himself. He goes and loves his enemy. He overcomes rejection with love. These are things that don't come naturally. If someone dares to disrespect us, we will immediately put them in their place. I mean, where does that come from? That doesn't come from contemplating or worshiping the one true God. Because God is love and He loves His enemies. He woos those that hate Him. Overcomes evil with good. It was in such a degree that this selfishness permeated every level of society, and of course reaching the heights of government and politicians, the disenfranchising of the poor, taking advantage, lying in order to come ahead. They were actually embezzling, they were stealing or overtaxing the poor in order to pay off their captive, their Assyrians and their the ones that were taking over the country. In the same way, we feel somehow, and they felt entitled to do it. They said, how else are we going to overcome? Take advantage of the weak. We find ourselves sometimes justified ourselves somehow. Perhaps by just soaking in, do whatever thou wilt, of the message of the world, that it's okay to lie in order to qualify for some sort of benefit. It's okay to steal if the company is rich, if you know they're multi-billionaires, you know, why should I have to pay? You know, I somehow people feel entitled to just disregard God's law in order to enjoy pleasures that are forbidden by God anyways. It's really takes away reasoning, and this is why God in the Bible also calls us to come and reason with Him. Let's use our minds and choose the better way. Choose love, which will preserve relationships, not destroy them. The lesson really speaks to the disenfranchising of the rich and how difficult it is to be a rich person and not love your riches. And here, Ellen White actually, you know, sometimes we as a society look at rich people and say, man, there's some sort of sometimes indignation that we should have what they have. But Ellen White expresses sympathy in Testimonies for the Church, Volume 2, page 682. Poor rich men, professing to serve God, are objects of pity. While they profess to know God, in works they deny Him. How great is the darkness of such! They profess faith in the truth, but their works do not correspond with their profession. The love of riches makes men selfish, exacting, and overbearing. Wealth is power, and frequently the love of it depraves and paralyzes all that is noble and godlike in man. The love of money, self-preservation, not recognizing that God is the provider of all, is what leads many to disregard God's law and turn away from His love. We should guard ourselves, and the lesson actually ends with a calling. A couple more verses which I'll post in the comment section of today's blog. And it says, read James 5 verses 1 through 7. How do these words fit in with present truth as expressed in the three angels' messages of Revelations 14, 6 through 12? Whatever our financial position, how can we protect ourselves from the dangers that money always presents to the followers of Christ? Money isn't everything, even though that's not exactly what we are taught in school. We are taught to study hard so we can make money. But maybe we should be looking and observing our God and seeing that maybe we should work hard so we can be in the best position to serve others, not just serve ourselves. This is food for thought for all of us that are going to be going out today. Some of you to school, some of you to work. Think about why you do what you do. Do you live to work, or do you work so that you can live and serve the Lord? What are your goals in life? What frames your morals? What is motivating you to do what you're going to do today? Contemplate these things and seek the face of God, and compare your plans with His plans. Compare your character with His character, and see if you're becoming like the one that you worship, because that is inevitably what is going to happen. Are we like Jesus? Thank you all for participating today. This was a great lesson. I'm just so encouraged to see everyone following along and digging deeper into the book of Hosea. I look forward to hearing from everybody tomorrow. God bless you and have a wonderful day.